channel. Today I'd like to talk about beginner mandolin. If you're just starting out on mandolin, there's a few things that I think will help you progress very quickly. One thing that people do when they're trying to learn mandolin to start out with is, they're in a big hurry to learn their first song. And I think they get kind of bogged down in learning that song, and they don't really get to know their instrument very well to begin with. So one thing I would suggest when you're just starting out is have you a strap and sit nice and comfortably, arms down to your side. Your forearm should rest on the edge of your mandolin here, and you have the neck at an angle, not straight down like this, but more at an angle like this. Hand nice and relaxed. And where I would suggest you start is in your picking technique. It's very important, if you've never tried to pick an instrument before, to practice, striking the strings, and especially with the mandolin, you need to be able to play down and up. And you need to start out with a pretty rigid pick. If you get, if you have like a real thin electric guitar pick or something like that, it's not really going to be very good for the mandolin. You need something that's got maybe a little bit of flex, but something that's pretty solid. And you kind of want to hold your finger, your index finger, kind of like this. Curl your index finger a little bit. Lay the pick on there like this. Put your thumb on there flat, and you'll have to practice with that. But you don't want to try to hold it with a pinch grip like this, so that you need to. The picking motion is not going to be in your fingers. It's going to be in your wrist. So you want to hold the pick good and solid, good pinch grip like that. Arm relaxed, and you just want to practice striking down on the string and up on the string. Just down and up with a wrist motion. And on the mandolin you have 8 strings, but they're tuned in pairs. So a lot of people ask me, well, how do you play all those? How do you play in between these strings? Well, you actually don't. When you strike down on the top string of the pair, and when you on the up stroke, you strike the bottom string of the pair. So I would suggest that you take a little time to sit comfortably, get comfortable holding your instrument, and just practice picking. You're up and down picking on each string, and get to where you can pick consistently back and forth on a set of strings, and then start jumping to other strings. Kind of like that. And once you get comfortable with that, where you're not missing strings and you can keep a steady rhythm, nice and smooth, then I would say you can start introducing some fretted notes on the fretboard. And I'd like to talk a little bit about that. If you've never played a fretted instrument before, it can be frustrating to get a nice clean tone out of the strings. And on a mandolin, the frets are pretty close together, so as long as you're hitting, in the middle of the frets, you're probably going to be okay. But if you don't press down hard enough on the frets, you'll get a real rattly sound like this. You can hear where it's barely contacting the fret, kind of muted. If you play too far back, then you're going to get a real muted sound. And you know, too far forward on the fret, you get a muted sound. So you want to curl your hand nice and comfortably. You kind of want to hold it like this with your thumb kind of straight along the top of the neck. You know, you don't want to be kind of like this with your, you know, with your arm bent and your wrist bent so much. You want to be nice and comfortable, fingers curled. You know, arm is fairly straight coming to the back of the neck. And then you want to just one at a time, press down until you get a nice clean sounding note, and then practice your picking. And then maybe even stop and choose a different finger and a different fret, and kind of train your fingers, get them used to going to the frets. And then you can start introducing maybe a ascending pattern or a descending pattern. And then you can maybe speed that up as you get more comfortable. Because when you're picking a song, you'll be changing notes every time you strike the string. So one. So I would take some time and practice that even before you try to learn scales or a song. Just play around, use your imagination, and just get comfortable on every string. And you can just work on little patterns. You can practice, you know, things like that. You can practice open strings. Or, I mean, you could play every fret. It doesn't matter. May not sound quite right. And I also make sure that you're throwing your pinky in there. Practice with your pinky so you can build the strength up, because that's the one that really takes the most encouragement. And then you'll be well on your way to learning your new song, your first song. So if you can practice your picking and your fretting to get to where you are comfortable doing some things like this, then that'll be a great start.